As a child of the mid to late 90s and the 2000s, I grew up with a lot of TV, and sadly it was a huge part of my childhood. Sure, I don't remember any math equation to save my life, but I can sure as heck tell you what happened in a SpongeBob episode from 2000, not to mention tons of commercials I can recite word from word. Experience the passion. But today, I want to talk about some of my all-time favorite TV shows. Ones I could watch over and over again, my personal faves. Now, this isn't some top list or in any sort of order. I'm going to do something different and go by certain mediums and genres. So, let's get started. But first, a word from this video's sponsor, TeePublic. Visit the 47 Cartoon Guy TeePublic store to get tees designed by yours truly. You can also get these fire designs on stickers, phone cases, mugs, you name it. Go to teepublic.com/user/cartoon-guy and check them out today. Of course, me being a cartoon guy, you'd expect me to have a lot of cartoons on this list, and you'd be correct. But that deserves its own video. There are tons of TV cartoons I love, such as Timon and Pumbaa, the Cartoons, Dexter, Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls, Courage, and Ed, Edd n Eddy, Yogi Bear, Rocko's Modern Life, Batman the Animated Series, and of course Scooby-Doo. Adult cartoons like The Critic, Harley Quinn, The Boondocks, Primal, and the original Clone High. Even cartoons I'm rediscovering like Over the Garden Wall and Avatar. I'll go more into detail on those in my top 30 favorite cartoons video. Sitcoms were also my favorite. Even though I like wholesome shows like Full House, I always preferred sitcoms that were either edgy or super out there. Family Matters, for example, started out as one of those wholesome family sitcoms, but when Steve Urkel was introduced, the focus was quickly shifted to him, and what started out as a typical show focused on a family in Chicago became a sci-fi comedy mixed with slice of life. Evil dummies, cloning, time travel, it was bonkers. Shows like Seinfeld and especially It's Always Sunny I love because the characters are pretty much horrible, slimy a-holes, but you enjoy watching them. Everybody Hates Chris was cool because it was relatable. Even though it was a highly exaggerated version of Chris Rock's life, Chris's family reminded me of my family. I had the younger siblings that were more popular than me. I had the mom that yelled. I had the dad that worked a lot and was cheap with money. All the side characters and cutaway gags, they never got old to me. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air I remember specifically watching as a teenager when reruns aired on Nick at Night. I always thought Will Smith was so cool and for a time I wanted to be like him. And it goes without saying, he was great in this show, with excellent comedic timing. I love the Banks family, especially Preppy Carlson, and the no-nonsense Uncle Phil, played by the late James Avery. Some of the more serious topics are handled perfectly, with episodes we still remember to this day. I watched a lot of sitcoms from Disney and Nickelodeon as a kid. The only one I still love as an adult would be Kenan and Kel. Whenever I'm in a silly, goofy mood, I always go back and watch some episodes on Paramount+. Both Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell play off each other perfectly. And Kel is a great physical actor too. Not enough people give him credit for that. Look at him go, damn. Not to mention, it has one of the best finales ever. The TV movie Two Heads Are Better Than None. And when it comes to sketch comedy, nothing trumps In Living Color. I didn't get into the Twilight Zone until I was much older, but I can definitely see why it's held one of the greatest of all time. It's an anthology series hosted by creator Rod Serling, and a lot of the episodes were basically morality tales. There's great stories and great performances from the likes of actors like Burgess Meredith. There's such an eerie tone in the whole show. I remember back in the day, they used to have a marathon on the Sci-Fi Channel every New Year's. That's what I remember first seeing it in middle school, and that opening would give me the chills. I love documentaries, especially on subjects that interest me. I remember I loved watching the VH1 I Love the series. There's funny commentators like Michael Ian Black, Hal Sparks, Lonnie Love, Mo Rocca, and the late Patrice O'Neal. Not to mention when it comes to I Love the 70s and I Love the 80s, I'm always interested in what a generation before me were into and made popular. I also love the toys that made us. It's really cool to see the history behind the world's biggest toy franchises. Ditto for the film equivalent, the movies that made us. One show I never thought I'd get into was Freeform's Cruel Summer. When I first saw the commercials, I brushed it off as some Riverdale bullshit, But then I watched an episode out of curiosity and I was hooked. It's set in the 90s and is about a rich, popular girl who disappears and her admirer, a shy, nerdy girl, takes over her life and eventually gets blamed for her disappearance. What really holds the show together is the writing and the performances from the lead actors, Olivia Holt and Sierra Arella. I was invested throughout the whole season, but I feel the way it ended, there were still some questions left unanswered. Chucky movies are a lot of fun. I've been a fan of the series since I rewatched the first 3 movies in high school. I followed some of the recent DVD movies, but I have to say, the Chucky series is probably the killer doll's finest hour next to the second film. Not only is this the goriest the franchise has ever been, and the animatronics as well as Brad Dourif's voice work is stellar, but the characters are pretty good too. I like Jake's journey as a shy, awkward gay teen, and the relationship he forms with Devin is generally sweet. I thought I was going to hate the bully character Lexi, and I did at first, but even she started to grow on me. Not to mention the return of familiar characters. I will say the one major low point is the flashbacks. I think they slow the show down, and I think Chucky is scarier the less you know about him. And the second season, for the most part, is pretty weak. It did end on a cliffhanger I'm very interested in seeing. I guess we'll see what happens in season 3. 2 recent shows I've been digging are Barry and A White Lotus. At the time I'm writing this, I'm just getting into White Lotus. So far, I'm really enjoying it. Barry follows Bill Hader as a title character, an Afghanistan war vet who is now a remorseless hitman. Unhappy with his life, he travels to LA to get into acting. He gains a crush/love interest, Sally, and a mentor who's his acting teacher, Gene Cusido, played phenomenally by Henry Winkler. With Barry's partner Fuse constantly in his ear, as well as run-ins with the mafia, Barry reluctantly continues to kill. There's so much that happens in this show, and me explaining isn't doing it justice. You should really check it out. So many layers to these characters. I love how no one is 100% innocent. They all have major character flaws. You root for Barry. At times you want to see him change his life for the better, but get disappointed when he kills again. You sympathize with Sally due to her abusive past with her ex-husband, but then it's shocking when you see her just go off in the elevator scene. Cusido is a well-respected acting teacher, but he's also a prima donna who burns bridges with almost everyone in his life, including his own son. The show recently had its series finale, and I thought it was a good way to wrap things up. And it even hit you with the fact that, wow, Barry ruined a lot of people's lives. I won't give everything away, but with the commentary on Hollywood true stories, some characters' fates are definitely what you expect. Barry is an amazing show. The whole series had me at the edge of my seat every episode, and I'm trying to think the last time that ever happened. See it if you haven't already. So enough about me. What are some of your favorite TV shows? Leave them in the comments. Until next time, I'm 47 Cartoon Guy, and I gotta fly. If you want to support this series and many other videos, click the link below to my Patreon. You get a special credit, early access, shout out to your channel or blog, even a commission by me. Every dollar goes into the production of these videos for software, research, DVDs, as well as help put food on the table. If you're not able to donate, you can also help by liking, commenting, subscribing, and clicking the little bell icon. I thank you, and I gotta fly.